student of human behavior, put it this way. And you get all kinds right here on YouTube. It'll expand your mind. But getting back to the Estonian guy, when does it get to the point, I mean, where in order to get the views, the subs, and obviously, to make money. First of all, I don't know where this guy gets his money anyway. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he was in some kind of IT industry in Estonia. In Estonia, by the way, I don't know much about it, but I did read something that I guess they have a pretty good IT industry out there. I guess. I don't know, maybe the guy has money. He's not retirement age. And yeah, he's making money on his show, I'm sure. But is that I mean, he goes out and buys a truck, cash. He wrecks the truck because of his carelessness and buys another car. Boom, boom, boom. Has a motorcycle. They're living in I'd say a decent house, renting. Where's the money coming from? Is it all coming from his show? Or does he just plain have money? Well, I don't know everybody's financial status on here. A lot of people lie about it. But he's being sustained financially somehow. Rich family? I don't know. But what's interesting about this guy, and as I said, he's got this irritating voice. You can say, well, Frank, don't listen to him if he's irritating. But there's some people that you're drawn to. You want to see what's going to happen next. But that's the point. That's the point. They're going to create this drama so you come back. They're going to do stupid things. And you're waiting for them to do another stupid thing. That's how they draw people. It's brilliant, actually. It's brilliant what they do. And they're very cognitive of what they're doing. And that's what gets all the views. But one day, as they all do, he's going to really fuck up. Hurt his family and kid in a car. All for attention. All for attention. Now, it seems that this guy has a wonderful relationship. His Filipino seems to love the shit out of him. Very openly affectionate with him. Oh, comes home, pats the baby baby Bubba on the head. Many times he comes in with gifts for her. Oh, what did you buy me now? Oh, thank you. She's hugging and kissing him and, keep the gifts coming. Keep the gifts coming. Well, what she's saying under her breath. Is it a kind of a relationship of convenience? Go out and do what you want, dear. As long as you take care of me and the baby and you bring gifts. Oh, there are relationships like that out there. Relationships of convenience, of course. The guy's name really should be Boris, because he sounds like a Boris. I don't know, he sounds Russian to me, but their accents, I guess, and dialect, whatever, sounds similar. Estonia, then there's Russia. Sounds like Vitali, actually. Sounds like another Vitali, and everybody knows who Vitali is. But I've never seen such irresponsible. Well, I have, but he certainly shows us his irresponsible nature, because you just don't. If you got a wife and kid that you love, fuck what's important for your show. Don't be driving with one hand, having a long, extended selfie stick outside the car window when you drive. And that's what made him wreck the truck in the first place. I think he's almost ran over a couple of people too, if I'm not mistaken. Then goes out and buys a little car, which is more vulnerable to an accident if you get into a crash with a small car compared to a Ford Raptor, you would get a lot more damage than a Ford Raptor. But yet, beginning of his show a lot, he's always getting into the car, and there's a proverbial selfie stick sticking out of the driver's side window. It looks like it's 50 feet away. I don't know. It's got a wide angle on there. Takes off, not watching the traffic, because it's more important to get that video in of him in the car. It's more important. You got to get that video in. But the next time, he may not be as lucky. This is also a lesson in stupidity here, too, why I'm talking about it. The mindset of the people here on YouTube, many of them, not all of them, but a lot of them. Someday his family's going to be in the car. I don't want to see that happen, as much as I think the guy's a creep. I have nothing against his wife or baby. I mean, I would not like to see that happen, but that sounds like it's almost inevitable with this guy. Anything to get something on camera to show the people. They will go to great lengths to get your attention. We don't want to fuck with the algorithms now. God forbid we fuck with the algorithms. Pretty sick. It's come down to that, and it has come down to that with the YouTubers. Anyway, the saga continues, and hanging around with these young women, flirting with young Filipinas all the time. Maybe he's testing himself to see how far he could hold back without giving in. Maybe he has given in, and that's the part you're not going to see on YouTube. I mean, he knows how to edit. What's really going on behind those scenes that his wife does not know. Makes for interesting drama, doesn't it? That's why people will follow certain people's shows. They want to continue the drama. It's a soap opera. What's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? Well, there's a lot of things that confuse me out here about a lot of people. Like Philly in the Philippines. I don't know. He makes good money on his show, and then he's getting some kind of a disability. I wonder, it must be mental with this guy. He never lives in a decent place. Always moving, never living in a decent place. Now he's living in basically a swamp. Literally. He gets, the grounds around there are kind of depressed. There's no drainage ditch, there's nothing there. So basically he gets, when it rains, a big swamp in his front yard. And so far, every place that he's ever lived was a dump, an absolute dump. But wait a minute. He's making good money on his show. Look how many views, 100 something down, whatever viewers, subs. He's on pretty often. And he's, by the way, the masturbator maybe, but the master of clickbait. How irritating is that? It's irritating to me. But he knows how to do it. This is not unintentional what they do to clickbait. It's not unintentional that they'll come up with a caption on their show and maybe wait till half the show's over before they even talk about what was in the caption of their show, what it was all about. That's called clickbait. Because people are going to wait around, okay, well, the title of your show is this and that, but something event happened or something. But then when he does talk about it, it's call it a very lightweight version of what he put in his caption, or maybe there's nothing on the show that had to do with the caption he put on there. This is clickbait to get you to come and listen to the show. Oh, there's Travel, Learn, Repeat. Hi, Frank. I assume Philly gives most of the money to his Filipino. That's what I always assumed. Oh, they're supporting a whole family. Philly is in his own respect, he's a simp. I think I said this is a Philippines Life Pro. Now, no idea what your channel has to do with the Philippines. That's the beauty of it. Because we are multi-topical on here. It's the Philippines in the world, okay? And what do you mean? I'm talking about a guy who has a Filipino wife and a channel, and he's in the Philippines. What do you mean it doesn't have anything to do with the Philippines? Apparently not following very carefully. I talk a lot about the Philippines, but I'm not limited like some people. I'm not limited on what I talk about on here. There are no limitations on my show at all. We'll talk about Trump. We'll talk about movies. We'll talk about science. Throw in a little bit of politics. We'll talk about the environment. Oh, no, I don't talk about the Philippines at all, as you claim, but in actuality, I'm always talking about the Philippines. But not to have a atypical, boring channel like many do on here. I try to expand my topics. Now, this is the long version of answering your question or comment. No, that's not true, actually. I think I'm out of tea. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. I am out of tea. Oh my God. But I have a packet here somewhere, ginger tea. Oh my goodness. That cannot happen. That cannot happen. But it did. What is this packet of ginger tea? I talk about everything under the sun. But, if you don't like what you are listening to, sir, is that pro-life Philippines actually that I'm talking about on here? Is that who this is? Perfect. Is that you? Is that you? Do tell. Well, if that is you, man, you're a creep. You're an absolute creep. An absolute creep. Yes. We are talking about you. But getting back to this creep, wow, I just saw, I know I had a packet at least of ginger tea around here somewhere. There it is. This is an emergency here. Urgent, emergency, urgent. Well, I saved the day. Pure Tea Collection ginger tea. Well, here we go. Saved by the bell. We got some ginger tea here. That's okay. That's okay. No, we talk about on this show what's worth talking about on here. I think we got that creep from Pro Life. What is he called? The Estonian guy? I think that's him. Filipino/Life Pro. Isn't that him? The Estonian guy that we're talking about? Estonia. They got some kind of a country song. Okay, let me just get this tea going here. Then we're good to go. But the guy is such a fucking creep. Oh no, we're not a hate show. I'll clue you into some hate shows. The guy that's simulcasting me right now. There you go. That's a very hateful person. We just discussed on here the current events. Some of it has to do with what's going on YouTube that are worthwhile talking about. Otherwise, we don't bother. But like I always say, the information comes from the content from their own shows. So in other words, it's far from stuff that's being made up. It's stuff that you've seen, heard. No exaggeration of anything. It's just plain fact. That's called proper reporting. Hold on, gotta get a spoon here. Okay. Pardon me for a second here. I got limited time this morning, so I got to get ready to go somewhere. But anyway, we'll continue. Here we go. Let's see. Humbafy. Hi, are you a horror YouTuber? Oh, what's a horror YouTuber? I don't know what that means. But anyway, if you just tuned in, we were talking about Pro-Life Traveler. He's got to be one of the creepiest people here on YouTube. And everybody's waiting, according to the comments I read on his show, everybody's reading for another big fuck up with him. For example, the car wreck he had because he's sticking his selfie stick out there, driving with one hand, not paying attention to traffic. His antics with extramarital affairs, possibly. His quest to get material on here that's going to draw people to his channel, such as hanging around young Filipinas, even though he has a wife and child. So a lot of people find that fascinating. Why does the title say contender for creepiest YouTuber? Because we're talking about a creepy YouTuber, pro-life travel. That's it. And he's a creep. That's why. Make sense? And he's a good contender to be one of the creepiest people on here. Oh, the one that's commenting on here? Okay. That don't matter. Well, we're just talking about it. Hey, nobody has a problem talking about me on here. But when I talk about them, it's like, well, excuse me? That's not right. You're very hateful. No, I'm not hateful, my friends. I'm not like these people. I just present the facts. And of course, the facts based on what we've all seen, what we've all heard. It's not hearsay. It's not made up. It's by my popular line here, by their own demonstration. And indeed it is. Nothing more or less. Facebook has a lot of, well, social media, period, has a lot of creeps. Uh-oh, 2% power. Timing is off on here. I've extended the show out just a little bit more because I got to get ready to do some things here. So let me plug her in and extend my time a little bit on here and kind of cap this off or something. We don't want to make too long of a show for Popeye. We don't want to do that. He's got to take his num-nums before he goes to bed. Okay, let's see here. What's your take on Luna, the panties? You mean Mike Luna? Is that who you're talking about? Does he sniff panties? None of his behaviors, surprises me. Of course he's live. What did you expect? I make his day. I make his world. Of course. Well, we try to help the guy out a little bit here. And then, of course, when I'm done with this, he'll say, well, there you go. It's an expectation. Oh, you know why he was quiet yesterday? Luna got caught buying soiled panties from a woman. Animals sniff each other's butts and do that, but I guess humans do that too. If they can't get a woman, get her underwear, used underwear, and I guess some way it's like being intimate with the woman by smelling her bodily odors. It's a turn on, although they never get the pussy from her at all. I guess stealing their panties is probably the next best thing. Dogs. I'm guessing you know what cheese pizza means. Yeah, I get it. What do you think of the vloggers Ben Dover and Huge Jazz? I don't know who they are. I have no idea. Yeah, but I get I get what you're saying on the cheese pizza thing. I think I know what you mean. Yes. No, I don't listen to those two. I don't know who they are. But I can understand why people follow certain people on here because they're like an accident waiting to happen. Oh, Jay was live again. Of course, he's sitting in a bar. Jay was live sitting in a bar drinking. Well, of course. What else was he to do? He's an alcoholic. What do you expect? What do you expect him to go hang out? Church? Bumba fan. A YouTuber I know who was involved in a scandal is called the New Creator. I went on his live stream and confronted him, but he said that I was a troll and banned me from the channel. Well, they don't like adversity. A lot of them do that. I mean, I even get rid of idiots that come on my show. I hide them from the channel. If they're going to disrupt the show, then I can understand doing that. You don't want to sit there and argue with people. Snappy Tom says that Jay said his woman could suck the chrome off an exhaust pipe. Well, maybe, I don't know, maybe because her mouth is so toxic and full of disease that, yeah. Look, Jay is all talk. He doesn't have all these women. Well, excuse me. Not fair to say that. He could have women hanging around as long as the drinks keep coming. Same thing as Ricky. Same thing as Big Kevin when he was in Thailand. It's the same shit. Jay is just too ugly. I mean, he's just too nasty. I think even if he pays someone, I think there's a limitation to what a Filipino or wherever you are will give in to you for the money. They got to be awfully desperate to put up with his 3 packs a day cigarette mouth and his alcohol mouth and his belligerent behavior when he's drinking and his disrespect for Filipinos, period. And he looks like an Aborigine. You better pay him from big money to get some action from them. Happy times. In other words, she has the suction of a Dyson vacuum cleaner. I get your drift, man. Well, it's going to take a lot to get his up because basically his alcohol problem, and even combined with cigarette together, is going to probably, in his case, interfere with the ability to salute with honor. Expat Forever says, Frank, Big Kevin will be back in Southeast Asia within the next year. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, he didn't really want to come back home to the United States, and he makes the excuse, well, he has to have knee operation. Well, first of all, he should have had a knee operation well before he went to Southeast Asia. By the way, he was planning to live there. But he turns around and said, no, it was just a vacation. I was always going to leave. I wasn't going to stay here forever. It's just that it didn't work out initially in Thailand. So he went to Vietnam. It didn't work out there. So he went back to Thailand and then back to America. The fact is that he was not getting no action at all. He wasn't getting any action. He posed with a few women. That doesn't mean shit. Okay. He was too busy buying them drinks. That's why he was always broke, and he was e-begging on his show to get money from people. He could not hold on to the money. He got to the point he had to go to 7-Eleven to eat noodles half the time, ramen noodles, to stay alive. He was a total failure in Thailand. So for him to go back to Southeast Asia, I don't know. Maybe he'll join Big E's harem or something. Maybe Big E will allow him to live with them or something as a place to stay and have a kind of a feeling of family. I think he would give it. Well, Cambodia would be the cheapest place to go. Do you consider pedophile or grooming scandals to be on scary channels? On scary channels. I don't know how to answer that. On scary channels. Well, I think it's wrong for somebody to accuse something of pedophilia. By the way, a little note on Barry's situation. If you didn't catch the show I did yesterday, a lot of people are wondering what's going on with Barry. I don't. I can only give you what I know, and I've been able to figure out is how long is he going to be in jail, and I know people want to know. Okay. Um, Normally he would be out after 6 months. How long has he been in? Since he pleaded guilty to 5 crimes, he's now a felon. I don't know the date of that. I don't remember the date of that. You got to go from that date. Well, they kept him incarcerated, and they actually had him thrown over to a real prison detention area. Took him out of Mandawi because they were going to fix it up supposedly, but so we have to figure when he entered after his guilty plea. When did he enter? First of all, he started with Bikutan or Bikutan, however they want to pronounce it. Then they shot him off to Bilibid, which was at Montelupa, where I think he still is, or he might even be in Bikutan back and forth. It has to do with the population control, and they're going to shift you back and forth to different places, So what's going on with that, as I understand it, you think it was in May? You know better than me, and I'm involved in this thing. May, June, July, August, September, October. Well, if you had to go by that, then he would be out by now or next month. I don't know. But here's the problem. Okay. He'd be out, obviously, if he just paid the penalties and damages. He'd be out. There'd be no problem. He'd be out. He just doesn't want to do that or can't do it, don't have the money, or he just doesn't want to touch his freedom money so he can get settled back in America. But the problem is, do we know whether or not he's paid all his immigration fees and fines and penalties, which is coming up to about 400,000 plus pesos, as I estimate. And I don't know if he's made any effort to pay any of that down. I don't know if somebody helped him pay any of it down. I don't know that information. But if he has not, okay, remember, right now he's in what you call I keep on telling you about this, called subsidiary incarceration, having to do with the fact that they're going to keep him on ice there. They're going to keep him there until he pays the court the fees. Okay, but there's a limit of maybe 6 months that supposedly legally they can't keep you more than 6 months. So you think it's been 6 months already. Maybe he'll be home for... No, he won't. He won't. Because here's the thing that I'm just introducing to you now. If he hasn't paid, that's where immigration will come back and take over. If he hasn't paid down his immigration fees and penalties, then guess what? That boy ain't going nowhere. Now, I did read that. That I read. That boy ain't going nowhere anytime soon. Because he may put in the subsidiary punishment for not paying the court. But if he hasn't paid down, he might even have a lawyer. He might even lawyer somebody. But we'll put the lawyer out of this. If he did not pay down any of that immigration stuff, then yeah, he's going to be in there. Oh, man. I think in perpetuity, really, until he pays that down. That's what I'm thinking. So in his mind, he's thinking, he probably knows about this already. Because if he had a lawyer still in touch with him, or bother to be in touch with him, or whoever he's in touch with to find out what his situation is, they probably told him the same thing. Well, they can't keep you in here more than 6 months. And if it's approaching 6 months and he's still in there, as I said, I don't know the date. You said it was May. You say about his 6 months are up, his countdown from May to now. Then normally he'd be out for Christmas, be home for the new year. But I don't think that's how it's working. Immigration is tough on this shit, you know. We're talking, dude, we're talking 7 years, not 8 months. We're talking 7 years. 7 years. And according to the math on that, his fines, fees, and penalties will be about 400,000 plus pesos. And that's not easy to come up with. And not everybody's willing to go put that kind of money out. Frank, if you had to leave the Philippines, where would you go? I'm not going to tell you on here. So you think Bummer would still be there for Popeye's Christmas special? Probably. Well, like I said, there are laws where they cannot hold you any longer than a certain period of time. Okay, but the reason he was in Mandawi for so long, 2 years to be in fact, almost to the day, well, approximately anyway. Hey, neighbor, what's up? Is there was a case against him. And he would have been deported if there was not a case against him. It was pending at the time, become a full-blown court case, and they couldn't let him go. He was a risk. That's why he was in Mandawi that long, because the court mandated, or immigration mandated, that he had to stay there until he faced his 5 charges. Until whatever that time came up, how long it was going to take to get to court. So he went to court. So he had to remain in custody until the court hearing was over. I'm going to go plug this in again. So there were many court hearings. Not that many, really. Several he didn't show up. But then came the time he pleaded guilty because he had no choice. I mean, he saw the evidence on a big screen. You all know that story, right? His mouth was like wide open. You'd have to see him. He's the one who was saying, "You ain't got no evidence on me. You ain't got nothing." Well, I showed him I had something. In fact, the funny thing about this is that I've already showed the evidence on my show many times. And he's still saying, "You ain't got no evidence." Well, I don't know. What does he consider evidence? Full-blown videos where he's calling me a pedophile and threatening my life. That's another case, too. Anytime I could put that on him, too. I could do it right now. His death threats. He's lucky. He's lucky that I didn't let the court, I didn't let it go, full Monty on him and take this to the end, because he would have got a sentence with the extra 1% on imprisonment that they impose upon with the RA codes 10175, section 4C4. He'd be in jail for 10 years, at least, on those charges. He doesn't realize that, he was gifted this. And why? Because, well, we didn't want to continue. It means more money to spend. But we knew that if we get this guy to plead guilty, he thought he was going to go home and everything be all cool. It didn't work out that way. He pleaded guilty because he was guilty. He had no choice. Even his lawyer told him, well, the evidence was there. There's nothing we could do for you, sir. Maybe the judge would go easy on you. I don't know. But it didn't happen that way. He thought he was on his way home free. Free Barry J, free Barry J, free Barry J. But Barry is not free. And he wasn't free. He put that final nail in his coffin is what he did, man. I told him about it, warned him about it. Continue what you're doing. You're not going anywhere, son. You're not going anywhere. Anywhere soon. Barry should have ran off to Mindanao and caught a boat to Indonesia. Well, he's not that smart. But anyway, basically, to sum that part up, we actually thought it was a better thing that he'd plead guilty, because we knew prior to this, we knew that to extend this out, there was no guarantee. See, it would cost me more money for all these hearings, right? We're not that stupid. And what would happen at the end of this hearing? What would the judge's decision be? Would he let him go easy? Let him off easy? We didn't want to take that chance. Or he could have, it would have been worse. He could have gave him 10, 15 years. But not knowing how the judge is going to think, we didn't want to take that chance. So we figured, let him plead guilty. And he thought he was going right home, but he was wrong. Let him plead guilty. And then he becomes convicted. So he is technically, not technically, he is a felon. He's a convict now. He's a felon. Now, being a felon means you will never, ever be able to set foot in the Philippines again. Not if you have a felony conviction. That's what it was. It's a felony. He was convicted by his own admission of guilt, which labels him as a felon in this country. So he buried himself. He put more nails in his coffin. So updating it and reviewing it again, the reason he's still incarcerated, and he'd be free if he get the money together. It's, I kind of contemplate that, he's got the money to pay the court fees and so forth, but he doesn't want to do it because he needs money to rebuild his life back in America again, to get a car he could sleep in, or a good cardboard box made out of a wax covering so that the rain doesn't deteriorate the cardboard box, or find somebody's garage to stay in. So he doesn't want to let loose of that. At the same time, nobody wants to help him either. Cambodia is the easiest and cheapest place to stay long term. It seems to be. But the fact is, he's never going to be able to come back to the Philippines. He could try meeting his girlfriend. Actually, to tell you the truth, his passport expired a long time ago. He'd have to get up the money to go renew his passport. I don't even know if he could. I'm not even sure he's able to even do that. So I could say he could get sent back home, and then he could voluntarily just go to Southeast Asia somewhere, like, he said Cambodia or whatever, wherever he chooses, Thailand, whatever. But and his girlfriend could always meet him there. But as far as I know, that they broke up. That could be an all out and out lie too. You know them, how they are. They both lie. But she'd have to say to herself, is it worth it? Apparently it's not, because she said on a show, single again. So you could assume that she wised up after how long? She couldn't figure this out, that there was no future for them. Even if she did lie and said, oh yeah, I'm single again, why would she hang on to this relationship knowing that it's not fruitful, that it's not going anywhere, it's never will? Well, go figure. But there's obviously no future in that relationship at all. That's it. It's over. It's done. I mean, she has to go on with her life. Hey, I heard that Car got flooded. They had to evacuate Car where she lives. I wonder if her place was one of them. How sad. All right, so he's still in jail, and I pretty much told you what's going on with that and why. And he'll probably remain in jail. As I said, I really don't know about his fees and fines and penalties, all that shit for the 7 years of immigration overstay. I don't know. But I know that they're not going to let him loose unless that's paid and cleared. That ain't going to happen. So let's say that he served his subsidiary punishment for not paying the court. And that's why he's still in there. That's exactly why he's still in there. That's what they call a subsidiary punishment for non-payment of court-ordered penalties. And generally the rule is, there's always exceptions to the rule. Don't get me wrong. They could do what they want. But the rule would be 6 months. If that's the case, if somebody says it's been 6 months or over already, he'd be out. The fact that he's not out means that it's gone from one level to another. Out with the subsidiary punishment, and it's still subsidiary punishment. I mean, if he hasn't paid the immigration damages, that he owes the Philippines, that he remains in this. Still, it's going to be subsidiary punishment in a sense that non-payment of these fees is just going to prolong his freedom. So he's not in a good position no matter what. And even if he doesn't pay me what he owes me, he will always owe me. That's why he'll never come back to the Philippines, even if he could. And first of all, he'll never own anything anyway that I could actually take from him in a civil suit. But the important thing is what he owes to the court, not to me. That's more civil. That's more civil. I know I'll never see that. But if he had plans to come back to the Philippines, if there's a way, any way in the world that he could return to the Philippines, he still would have to satisfy that judgment of what he owes me, to 250,000 pesos. He'd be on the run all the time again. It just won't work. Nothing works for him anyway. It's called being brain dead. He puts himself in that situation, and then he goes on the attack of me. Well, I didn't tell you to call me all those fucking names for fucking 5 years, whatever. I mean, duh, hello, anybody home? Oh, yeah, look at my eyes. Nobody's home. Remember that one? Nobody's home in his head. Same as Brevis. There's nobody home. Ain't nobody home. Are you enjoying today's show, Popeye? I do it for you, too. You don't realize I'm giving you the gift of a reason to live, to come on and listen to my shows and to actually simulcast them. I'm actually doing you a service. Poor guy. Poor schlep. All right. Let's see. God, there's another guy that comes on here. Jesus Christ. Oh, no. Well, forget him. Well, I can't go through everybody, but it's been an interesting show this morning. You learned a little about this. There's a guy on there also, by the way. You'd think he was me because he wears his sunglasses all the time. And he's called, what is it? Mr. Wright, Wright. Strange bloke. Supposed to have money, have a big trucking business in America. He knocks up some fucking Filipina. He's not in love with her. So he's in the border of either abandoning the whole idea of being around her or supporting this kid when it's born, or running away or being responsible. And he's trying to figure out, how much should I give her, while she's pregnant and when the child is born. So he got himself stuck in a situation. He had one of those Roman dicks, and I don't mean Roman Italian, call it roaming dicks. He liked to dick around in his travels. He's been to many places. But this one, he got pregnant. Oh my. So now he's just kind of dealing with his conscience on this and examining his moralities and so forth. And, what should I do about this? And another creep. And he does a lot of shows, but he's supposed to be bon vivant, He's in America right now, take care of his so-called business, trucking business. But he goes back and forth to the Philippines. He's always trying to get his dick wet, of course, and this one didn't work out because he got her pregnant. God, so many stories in the naked city here, isn't there? So many stories. Stop Tom says, Popeye doesn't fart unless Frank says he can. There you go. Did you hear that, Popeye? It's pretty much true, isn't it? I give excitement to his life, Got to give me credit for something here. His dull, uneventful life with his mobility scooter and his soap operas, if they're still on. I'm his new soap opera. I'm his new soap opera show. his trips to the bingo hall, to hang around all these blue-haired, silver-haired ladies, occasional trip to the casino, his bon vivant lifestyle. And don't tell me that he doesn't smoke. Uh-uh, uh-uh, uh-uh. Likes to trash me because I'm still smoking, right? All the time. Look, I know a smoker's voice. I know that telltale cough that I even have sometimes at the end of a sentence. Not always, but sometimes I have a dry throat or I have a post-nasal drip. It's hard to tell which one is the other, but I could tell with him because after a sentence, he'll go, or he'll make a sound. He has that he has that smoker's voice. It's kind of a little bit raspy. I know because I'm a smoker. I've been around smokers, and I know he's not fooling me. Popeye hopes that I die from my smoking or whatever, or die from something, and makes fun of the fact that, oh, well, Frank, he takes all those supplements and eats all this wonderful food, but he's still smoking. Well, there's a smoking gun to this too, Popeye. The smoking gun is that you smoke and you're not active, and I am a lot more active than you will ever be, look better than you for the age. Yeah, I'm more mobile than you, and I've actually got something to look forward to in my life, which you don't. So I have a lot more going for me than you will ever have, Popeye. Ever, ever. He smokes and he drinks. That's how he gets by his day. Definitely smokes. And I always joke around. I say he probably smokes those because he's old. Because he's kind of old school, Popeye. I mean, he's not only old, but he's old school in his train of thought and life. And he lives in the past because that's all he can live, because that's all he remembers, because there's nothing going on in his current life. But he's the kind of guy, and a lot of these military guys smoked. They all smoked and drank. I'm sure Popeye was one of them. You could tell it in his voice. You may disagree with me, but that's my opinion. He makes fun of me about smoking, but he smokes. I know he does. He could deny it all he wants. He smokes. He's a smoker. And he, I think, is a long-time smoker. Smoking ever since his Navy days. He probably hasn't stopped. So he has fun talking about me because I'm still presently smoking, but I don't smoke as much as people think. I don't even smoke but less than half of a cigarette. I take maybe 4 drags. I throw a whole cigarette away. If he smokes a cigarette with a filter, I'll guarantee he smokes it all the way down to that fucking filter and more. Or he just uses cigarettes without a filter. Popeye sounds like the Joker on Batman, Heath Ledger Joker. I never thought about that. Snappy Tom says, Frank, I have nothing against people if they're disabled or not. Well, it's a good way of thinking. Unless they affect your life in a personal way or legal way, Snappy Tom, that's a whole different story. Now, I understand one thing, it's showing about Popeye, but since he's simulcasting me, I love to just at least throw in a few things about him and my observations and so forth. He's really bitter. He doesn't say anything good about anybody, but I'm his focus these days. I've always been, really, and the reason he's bitter is what we've talked about on here, because if he had something to show in his life, like actually having a girlfriend, he would talk about it. He says, no, I don't talk about my personal life. Well, because he doesn't have a personal life, because he doesn't have a life. Popeye probably hasn't been laid since he was married. That's a long time ago. Who knows if she even gave him much sex? Well, he had a daughter. He had to have sex at some point. But people don't know, is he married the first whore that he met on the round table in Subic Bay. Remember the story about they'd sit around the round table at this particular establishment, and they had like a long draping kind of a tabletop. Anyway, it hung down a bit, and the whore would go on. He told the story. He said it. I didn't make this up. The whore would go under the table giving all the guys blowjobs. Well, it turned out he married the chick who gave him the blowjob. Well, anyway, he was married to her for a while. Then he beat her up out of a drunken stupor, and she divorced him. But the good news, she kind of cleaned up her act, got rid of the bum. No more under the table blowjobs, as far as I know. She married a black guy, and Popeye hates that. Oh, he hates that. He don't like blacks. That's a real throwing shit in his face on that too, besides the fact that she left him and left him for a black guy. It didn't leave him in a good state, you know. But she got her act together. Her and her husband have a little food business or restaurant business or cooking food, whatever. I guess they're doing good. I forgot what state they're living in, but she got away from the creep. Got her life together. She did. And without him. So she did good with her life. Popeye hates Jay because Jay and Ricky can travel. Yeah. Popeye was bashing Jay and Ricky 2 years ago, but now changed his tune. Well, he'll support anybody that's against me. That's the way it works on here. He'll be supportive of these people. There's safety in numbers, as they say, you know. He'll support anybody that's against me. Even Allo doesn't particularly like Popeye. And Allo was his ally with the hate show, the Triple R, remember? With Dave Phelps, Popeye, Allo, Roberto, the whole crew, the Wrecking Crew. But they had problems with each other. They were always fighting with each other. It just didn't work out for Triple R. It just didn't work out. Popeye would get drunk. He'd be arguing with people on there. He had his little bouts with Allo and other people too. They were supposed to have been so tight, but they really weren't. It was a mess. Turning on each other like they turn on everybody else on YouTube. It was a mess. It was hilarious, though. Allo meeting up with Frank, not a chance. No, Allo's not going to meet up with anybody. And no, as much as Big E may lie and said that he met Allo or something, no, Allo has not. Allo said he has not met anybody on here, and Allo will not take that chance of meeting anybody. Okay, he's smart. He will not take that chance. Now, Allo, my so-called relationship with him is, it's double-edged. There are many times Allo will support me, say, I don't hate Frank, blah, blah, blah. I think he's a talented vlogger, blah, blah, blah. He's made a lot of good compliments about me. Then on the other hand, Allo, of course, has been against me in many ways, done research and said a lot of horrible things. But that's Allo. And we know him to be that way. Oh, he could be a kind soul when he wants to be, according to what mood he's in. But Allo could be both against and supportive of me at the same time. He's kind of a phenom in a way. Actually, there's another word, actually. Can't think of it. Allo speaks to Roberto, not a chance. Well, yeah. Allo speaks to Roberto, not a chance. I don't know. And the Roberto thing, it's still out. I'm still out to lunch with that. I do believe he did get Alzheimer's. That's why he's off. And he did on his Facebook, was telling people to support it. And usually support the Alzheimer's Foundation because to find a cure, because that's what usually people do. You see Hollywood stars, all these people that don't give a shit about, helping certain organizations. But when that disease hits them, they're all gung-ho. The most successful guy and who means it, not just because he has his Michael J. Fox, who's a fantastic person in every fucking way. talent in every fucking way, good-hearted. And he started a foundation that actually raised $1 billion for his particular problem, for his Parkinson's. Yeah, I like Michael J. Fox. There's nothing, not one bad thing I could say about Michael J. Fox. Everything about his character. He's got a lovely wife that sticks with him. And a lot of people say, "Oh, for the money," but no, I do believe that he met her from being in the movies, and she's gorgeous. She's absolutely gorgeous, and she's real, and she supports him to the day he dies. Great, great celebrity couple, great people, attractive wife, and Michael's not afraid to show. He's not afraid to show people his shaking and everything else. He's beyond that. He wants to show people what his disease can do. He doesn't hide it like some people hide behind their computers and attack people. Michael J. Fox lets it all out. This is what Parkinson's, whatever disease, looks like. He's not afraid to show it. He will trip and fall sometimes. They'll catch him when he does. It doesn't embarrass him. He wants to show people this is part of the disease. He's not afraid to show it. He doesn't hide it. He wants people to notice a terrible disease and we need to find a cure. Thing about Michael J. Fox is that Michael J. Fox is real about this. Yeah. Aloe too smart to take the bait. Okay, I'm limited on time here, guys. I got a little endeavor going on. I'm already packed. I'm going to, let's just figure, I'm going to Cebu. That's where I'm going. I got to leave in another, I don't know, half hour. Take care of some stuff while I'm in Cebu. Maybe do a little shopping, I hope. I'm not worried about the flooding in there because I guess it's pretty well dried out in Cebu. Unless you go to certain areas, there might be some puddling in some streets, but I don't know. I didn't want to go yesterday because of the fact that I guess the ferries weren't even running, I think. But then I don't know how bad there any extra flooding in Cebu. I didn't want to chance that. I think Michael J. Fox lasted a lot longer than expected. Yeah. I hope he lasts a lot longer. Expat Herald, how long before Stinky Pinky abandons his woman and child? Oh, that's the guy. That's Stinky Pinky. That's him. The guy who wears the sunglasses. I always wear sunglasses a lot when I'm on. This guy, if you didn't know, you'd think it was me to a certain point, except I'm better looking. But he wears these really cheap sunglasses. You think that was the new me on there, if you just tuned in on this guy. He's pretty new, Stinky Pinky. Doesn't have a lot of subs. But he's kind of in some way attacking the Philippines, attacking Filipinos already, doing shows about what they can do to you, be careful and all that. But he got somebody pregnant. His Stinky Pinky was his fucking penis that he put into the vagina of another Filipina and got her pregnant. Now he's all fucking freaking out about what direction, should he bail out on her? Should he be responsible? He doesn't talk about much. Even the title of his show, Stinky Pinky, shows he's some kind of a fucking creep. Sappy Tom says, Frank, you never a better game plan to outsmart Aloe. Don't bother with that. Aloe's okay. I'm used to all of Aloe's insults and research and all that shit against me and his plotting and planning and all that stuff. It's become old hat, and most of these people are old hat on here anyway. They jump fence constantly, and you just got to expect it. You get to know these people after a while. But Aloe has also come to my defense many times. Aloe has also made compliments to me many times, too, besides the total opposite. Shit, I'd be willing to meet Aloe. I wouldn't tell a soul who he was. Seriously, I wouldn't. If Aloe was willing to meet me, there'd be no physical threat to him from me. Not at all. I'm more curious about the guy than pissed off about him, the things he said to me in the past. I'm just more curious about him. But I wouldn't tell a soul who he was. If he actually agreed to meet up with me, I wouldn't tell a soul. I'd like to keep the mystery going. But me being knowledgeable about what he looks like and what he's all about, his real personality, I would love that opportunity, actually. Hemorrhage is on. Hemorrhage, I ain't got much time on here, man. Frank, good news for you. I talked with Jay last night. I think he's going to lay off you. He doesn't want to. He's not going to fight anybody. He's a fucking Aborigine fucking coward. Ugly, stinky, smelly bastard. Fucking bogan. He ain't going to meet up with nobody for the intent and purpose of causing physical harm or harassing anybody. He'll do it on his show. He'll run away like he always is. Just like Barry's always done on his show. Two peas in a pod. That's why they hung out together. And boy, the stories they could tell you if they want to come out with it. Oh, they done some things together that would curl your hair or straighten out your curly hair. Oh, yeah. I think you and Jay, we could team up together. Yeah, right. I don't think he really wants to be your enemy. Look, I don't respect Jay. I never will. I also don't give a shit about Jay. If a fucking Mack truck hit him smack in the face, I wouldn't give a shit. I'd say, okay, one troll gone, just like the others. All these other trolls that passed away. I just say to myself, oh, well, one less to deal with, one less creep on YouTube. That's all. I don't have to feel sorry and have compassion for these people. I have no reason to. Never done any good for me. Why should I have any compassion for the creeps? I mean, if Popeye croaked right now, I'd say, fuck, it's about time. Another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Oh, he will. He's not physically active. I don't, without even meeting him, I could tell you that. And looking from the most current pictures that I've ever seen of him, he don't look healthy and he don't look in shape. And I hardly doubt that this guy exercises except using his fucking right hand or whatever his favorite hand to go jack off to my voice and to my videos on here. That's it. Ed Savino said, Aloe said he hates you. It's on Discord. Don't shoot the messenger. It's a love-hate relationship with Aloe. On one minute, he's loving me. On the other minute, he's hating me. But that's Aloe. Ed Savino, that's true. Or Aloe smack talks Frank behind. I don't know this. You're saying that you think that I don't know this? Of course I know this. Aloe's like an AC/DC in maybe more ways than one. You know, he goes either direction. According to how the wind blows or something. Of course I know that, man. Come on. I got to get off, man. An hour and 28 minutes is enough. I got to do a few things here, so I got to get off. And anyway, we talked quite a bit about a few people today, and actually, kind of interesting. The characters we have on here, pro-life traveler, who was just waiting for his next accident, chasing after this young Filipinas while he's married and has a child. That's kind of a new concept on here, actually. We haven't seen a lot of that, except for Brevis. You know, Brevis, even though he has a partner and has a lovely baby girl, hopefully looks more like the mother than him. He goes and hangs out in the bars. And last trip he was in Thailand or something. You think he's being faithful to her? Fuck that. Fuck that. He ain't being faithful to her. There's no fucking way. Even while he was seeing this woman, prior to even having a baby, he got another woman pregnant, but unfortunately she had a miscarriage. And for him, it was fortunate because, well, you have to worry about putting out any money of his Bitcoin empire, to have to raise that kid. He's nasty, man. He's just nasty. He's just a pretty fucked up dude. And probably the only reason this chick is with him is for support. Why would she be with a creepy stalker like that? she allows him to go out to all the fucking bars and cavorts. They must have kind of an agreed type of relationship that, hey, I don't give a fuck what you do because I know you're going to do it anyway. Just keep the money coming in for me and the kid. That's all I care about. That's probably what it's all about. Yeah, a lot of shit talkers on there. Absolutely, Snappy Tom. Jay got his pipe polished the other night. So he said. You can't believe anything Jay says. And if she did give him a knob job or whatever, I mean, what disease is she going to come out with? Jay made a statement not too long ago, and he said it before. I never have to pay for my women. I've never paid a peso for having sex with a woman. Now, if you can believe that, then you can believe that Barry is the biggest gentleman and scholar on YouTube. Jay is not going to get a woman. Oh, he says he gets them by just meeting them and then they'll have sex, but I've never had to pay for it. Look at him at the bars. He's paying for all their drinks just to hang on his arm. That's what he does. He'll make up a story that he got laid. He said he had 3 the other day. 3 easy pieces. Wasn't that a movie? I think it was 5 easy pieces. Something like that. You can't believe a word that Jay says. Just look at the guy. You know? Look at the guy. They'd have to pay him not to pay them to have sex with him. I don't know. They wouldn't touch him with somebody else's dick. I mean, you either got the persona, you either got the looks, you got the personality, you're either suave or you're not, and he's neither of the above. Jay is gay. Ricky and Jay had an affair. I don't know. I got to get off this. It's getting ridiculous now. Okay, guys, I really have to go. I really have to go. We're out of here. Enjoy.
All right, there you go. Yeah. Take a look at the screen. What do you see? You see video unavailable. Now, if this guy was really serious about what he was saying or had any conviction whatsoever, you wouldn't be seeing this video is now unavailable. I mean, he takes down all his shit. What a putz. What a jamoli. But what do you expect? And I'm very happy that he brought up Aloe tonight because I got a little something for you guys. I think you're really going to enjoy it. I mean, really. I mean, let me play for you what Aloe thinks of Frank. What Aloe really thinks of Frank. It's quite hilarious, okay?
Farm in Consolacion, Mango Echo. Own fucking self's gonna kick my ass.
Jay's getting big now. He thinks he's a badass now. He got all this muscles. Ooh, I like to take him on. This is proof to see if that's
very chill. Let's make this a very chill live stream.
I got a cup of coffee going.
Yeah. I'll take over. Yeah. First of all, I think it's very.
You guys
tragic.
enjoy
it's always
what
tragic
Aloe
when somebody dies. It's always tragic when somebody passes away, right? It is. It really is. And you know what? I think Al is not a bad guy. Of course, we don't know him. We don't know much about him. We just know that his brother is a complete fucking nut job. Now let me tell you something here. What does it say about the man when he just stays overseas, pretends that he is enjoying his life, comes on YouTube probably like 3-4 times a day, talking about non-topics, zero value whatsoever.
Let me answer that, because he has no communication with Gilda. I mean,
he has no. Yeah,
the communication is not there. So all he has.
It's a rhetoric. It's a rhetoric question. It's a rhetoric question because he has no friends, has no communication. She lacks the intellectual capacity to have a conversation with him. He lacks that. He wants to talk to people.
Yeah,
he wants to interact with people. But because people know, sense, and feel that he is a complete fucking nut job, they stay away from him. Now, what does it say about the man who lives overseas, goes on YouTube, talks about nonsense, while his own brother is back home suffering, and he has been suffering for many decades now? What does that say about you? Because if I would be in a similar situation, the first thing I would do is I would be with my loved ones. I would not be on YouTube. Okay? You will not be on YouTube. You will not talk about fish, oil, omega-3 pills, and cholesterol, and blah, blah, blah. You won't do that, right? That shows what kind of a person you are. That shows what kind of a personality you have. It says everything about you as a person. And then the guy dies, and he doesn't even fucking know. And then he contacts his daughter via email to reach out to his sister to ask her what's up with Al. That really shows. I mean, that really
shows a broken family,
That really puts the D in. That puts the fucking D in dysfunctional family, right?
Right.
And here he is preaching about other people's family. Roberto is divorced. Popeye is a lonely man. Talks about healthcare issues, preferably about other people's health.
I'm going to come with that too, with his healthcare.
And it's him who is completely neglecting his role as a brother, as a family member, as somebody who should care about your own, right? And I just think that it's absolutely fucking disgusting.
I mean, he has all this money, and you could fly over there and attend his funeral or whatnot. I mean, plus,
he took care of that by saying his brother is already ashes, right?
Yeah,
he took care of that. He mentioned it on one of his blogs. The reason is, even if he wouldn't be ashes already, cremated already, rather, he wouldn't even go back. And usually during times like these, you want to be with your family. You want to be with your sister. Maybe it's time for him to reconcile. Maybe it's time for him to reconcile with his daughter. He won't do that. What does he do? What's so fucking important for him?
What
enjoys his attention? What's his priority? Coming on the internet, talking about complete nonsense BS. And listen, guys, I know that some of you are out there and enjoy this, listen to the drama. I love the drama as well. I'm the last person on earth who's going to say drama is not good. But at some point, it's a question of decency. It's a question of priorities. And this man, ladies and gentlemen, I was listening earlier when he was on there just for a few minutes, where he was like listening to American hits, ballads or something, and then he came out with his own lyrics.
All right, so what'd you think of what Aloe had to say about Frank? You think that was quite interesting or what? I thought it was quite interesting. Now, let's debunk about how there is a instructor that's a female. And here we go. You're gonna love this, guys. No, the instructor for Zumba is not female. Not by a fucking long shot.
So make me feel.
Yeah, Frank. That's the guy that's
Let's
making you
tend
girl
in the
down.
shadows, speaking in bold.
Yeah, take a look. He's instructing the class. And you can find that on Robbie, capital N, Son, on Facebook. There's 27 parts of this guy instructing Gilda, who is in that video. And there you go. You got your first good look at Gilda's new boyfriend. Yep, she's front and center with a big ass fucking smile. So now that we've debunked his bullshit, let's talk about how Frank loves to bash me. He really loves to bash me. And I'll tell you why he loves to bash me. It's very simple. He's trying to bait me to give up information about my life. I'm not going to do that. I don't owe Frank any explanations because that's what my channel's not about. My channel's about aggravating the shit out of Frank. And tonight, I'm going to show you how much I have aggravated this fucking pedophile called Frank. And you're gonna fucking enjoy it. It is quite funny.
I'll tell you one thing that I really meant. Popeye, Robert Clausen, and we'll give out his address later on. If anybody wants to write him, we'll give you his address tonight. This way you could send him a cup of coffee or something, or, you know, greetings or something, order him a pizza or something. We'll give you his full address later on tonight. Yeah. Pay him a visit. You're in the area. Say hello to him. But I'd say one thing. Of all the people I know on it even goes above Barry, believe me when I tell you, Popeye is one person that would never, ever meet me. Ever. Because you know I'd beat the living snot out of him without even one word being said. Because he not only talks about me, he talks about my girlfriend too. And he also calls me a pedophile like Barry does. And you know what I did to Barry? Well, he's in Florida, and that's why he feels he could do this. Oh, nobody's going to touch me, he said. Don't be too sure of that, dude. Don't be too sure of that. You don't know me that well. And he said I'm broke. Now, who knows? Maybe when I got to do my ECC in time, maybe I'll decide to make a trip to Florida. And just, you know, be in the neighborhood, you know. Yeah, you know. And if I'm in the neighborhood, maybe drop by. Let's see if you're going to take out your little revolver that you said you have. I'll shove that thing so far up your fucking ass. I got to go.
All right, there you go. This bed smoking, pill popping pedophile has threatened me with physical violence. What should I do? Oh my God, what should I do? Well, here's what's funny about this. He says, if I take out my little revolver, okay. Well, revolvers are out of date. They truly are. They're out of date. So Frank, get it right. I own a Smith and Wesson 40 caliber. Each magazine holds 15 rounds. Listen, Frank, this is the sound of a Smith and Wesson 45 caliber. Okay? When you hear that sound, Frank, the blood should drain from your veins. Okay? Oh man, you gotta love it. You gotta love it, man. This guy claims he could beat everybody up. He'll do this, he'll do that. But then he turns around and he says, I'm 71-year-old man. You really gonna do that? You really gonna come for me? And I have protections, as a senior citizen. Oh my fucking God, Frank, you don't get it both ways. Okay? You need to understand how it works in the real world. Frank, when you threaten somebody with bodily harm, you're gonna get your ass kicked sooner or later. And your senior citizen protections and your 71-year-old speech is not going to do anything for you. You will get your ass handed to you. So, Frank, and another thing. When you sit there and you make these stories up about me, and you try to pass it off as fact, and then at the end when you say, in my opinion, okay, well, Frank, let's do a little vocabulary remedial reading today. An opinion is just how you feel about it. Okay, I'll keep it simple for you. And opinions are not fact. Okay? Facts, you have to bring receipts. You have to show documentation, video evidence, like I did tonight. Frank, I presented you with facts. The Zumba instructor is male, 100% male, not female. Eh? And looks like Gilda was having a great time. I mean, why would Gilda post 27 videos of the back of her instructor? Because she loves that ass, Frank. So remember, go to Robbie and Son. Okay. Let me see here. Well, you know what? I'm going to do you guys a favor, man. There you go. Copy. Post it. Here is the link to where I got that video. You go ahead and take a look for yourselves. Okay. You enjoy it. I mean, you enjoy that Facebook link. I mean, this is what they do to you, though. When you're over the target and you hit the target square in the bullseye, they threaten you by doxing you. They threaten you with physical harm. They ask others to harm you like he did in that video. I mean, Jesus, if I was in Philippines, I could haul his ass in and say, look what this lunatic said about me. Okay. And I tell you, it's fact, not fiction. There's nothing you can do because in that video, you said, when you get your exit clearance. Dude, you're on hold departure. Did you forget you are on hold departure? I think you did. Yep. I think you forgot you were on hold departure. Okay. So let's see. Aloe's not your friend. You've learned that tonight, which is pretty fucking funny. Uh, the Zumba instructor, that motherfucker's a male, 100 fucking percent, and it doesn't look like he identifies as a female. Now, let's find out the reason why Frank is getting cheated on. Okay? And I'm going to show you the reason. This is just part of it. Okay? This is just part of it. Listen to this.
Frank to Gilda. She's 2 feet away from me and she don't even hear me. Frank to Gilda. Can you hear me? You're 1 foot away from me. Can you hear me? Or is your headphone net stuck in your fucking ear? Of course not. You're 2 feet away from me and you didn't hear a fucking word I said, did you?
I put headset.
I don't know, man. You can put headsets on me and I could hear something and I'm half deaf in one fucking ear. It's called greed.
Something.
It's called greed. It's called greed.
Even Filipino, they do that.
No kidding. I mean, Filipinos do that? Really? I didn't know that.
The Filipino do extra.
Oh,
that
really?
person there in Hagday,
I didn't know this.
500 pesos to get a ticket.
You want to argue with me? You want to fucking argue with me on a live show?
I'm not arguing with you.
Don't fucking argue with
I
me.
just tell you because I'm sick of listening.
All right. And we have actually seen this type of behavior before. Okay. And dude, you know, if that happened like once in a blue moon, I'd say okay, but it's a regular basis. We all know it. Regular basis. And a Filipino will get sick of your shit and she'll find something better. And she did. The Zumba instructor. Okay. Take a look at this next clip.
Mick Fisher said, you said Gilda didn't tell you she had any children for over a year. Your words. You're correct. And I told you why. If a woman is interested, a Filipino is interested in a foreigner, they're afraid of losing the guy. They're not going to say shit. What they wait for, Mick, that you get emotionally involved with them. Then they feel free to tell you because they figure they got you hooked emotionally, and she did. You're right. She didn't. You're right. I did say that. Okay, so then, okay. Mick says I got played. Hey, you know what? It wouldn't be the first time. If I was single, it wouldn't be the last time, Mick. I got played many times in my life.
Yes, he has. And Gilda has been playing him 100%. A whole year went by and he never asked if she had kids or was married. What did he do? When he started introducing her, he introduced her as his wife. Okay? And for years, he held on to that line and finally admitted that, no, it's not my wife. Because he had no choice. Because a lot of other channels brought the facts and figured out that Gilda was married to Jimmy Jennison and is an octomom. 8 fucking kids. 8 goddamn kids. Okay? Now look, this guy has hooked up with a Filipino that's got 8 kids and is married to a Filipino. And she's been with Frankie boy for 10 years. This guy claims to love her. Well, why the fuck did he not pay for an annulment and marry her, make an honest woman out of her? In the eyes of Philippine law, she's an adulteress. So, dude, it's not me saying this, Frank. It's fact. Under Philippine law, she's committing adultery every night that she sleeps with you. Period. Okay? Unless you want to roll in the court and say your dick don't work, I never fucked her. I mean, but Frank, I got video of you saying, yeah, my dick don't work, but my tongue works real good. And you sat there on video and explained how you perform cunnilingus on Mrs. Jennison. Okay. I mean, get fucking real. Okay. Get fucking real, Frank. Frank, when you talk about me next time, bring some receipts. Because nobody's going to take you seriously unless you bring some receipts. And this is what we do here on the Popeye One channel. We bring fucking receipts. Okay? I know you may not like that, Frank, but too fucking bad. Okay? You're going to have to live with it. It's your fucking problem. Okay? You're the one who created it. And as for Barry, dude, you're all wrong about Barry. Barry is going to be there a long, long time. The court system and immigration system are two different things. Okay? Simple as that. Barry's going to sit there because he's not paying his immigration fees. They've already been negotiated down. Barry has a deportation notice, and nothing's going to happen until Barry forks it over. Okay? Simple as that. Simple as that, Frank. And the way you talk about Big E, the way you talk about these other channels, Frank, let me tell you something. You have no room to talk whatsoever. Frank, don't be a hypocrite. You cannot afford to go out there and talk about other people in such a manner where you yourself are as guilty as sin. Okay? Everybody is laughing at you, Frank. Frank, I told you, stop giving away personal information. But what did you do, Frank? You insisted on being personal, which is pretty friggin' hilarious. Dude, people take that information, they could dig up facts about you, Frank, and it's all over but the fucking crying. Right? Simple as that, Frank. So, what do we do with this? I have no idea. Do I wish death on Frank? No. Do I want to beat Frank up? No. I just want to inform the 40 plus people that are now on my channel that this guy is a bona fide pedophile. And I have proven it. He owes $60,000 in Hawaii to a family who he harassed, harangued, and groomed their 8-year-old boy. He would not even show up for court. Okay? He wouldn't even show up for court. Just hilarious, man. I mean, and then he says, well, I would have won that if I'd have shown up. But, Frank, you showed up for every court date for Barry. You actually got on a fucking ferry and went across to the other side to get to all these court dates. But yet you could not show, you could not get a lawyer in Hawaii? No, Frank, because what you did is you ran like a motherfucker. You said, fuck that. I ain't showing up for this. I don't know shit. And you ran. And you ran the fuck out of Hawaii. Like you ran out of Seattle. Like you ran out of New York because you didn't want to go to Vietnam. There was a lot of people that didn't want to go to Vietnam. Don't forget that, okay? And this shit about you being an only child is a crock of shit. And you're bad air, you're full of shit. Okay? You flayed around for 8 years in college. You are what we call a professional student. And you didn't even walk out with a bachelor's degree. You roam from part-time job to part-time job. Back on, benefits, off benefits. The only thing you've ever done, Frank, was suck the Social Security system fucking dry. It's assholes like you who never fucking pay in. And Frank, you may have worked a few quarters, but you ate up more than that taking benefits, okay? So in all actuality, Frank, you're never fucking paid in. You never paid fucking taxes, okay? It's going to be Lechon Gate. Oh, my God. All right. So, guys, there you have it. In the short run, it's Friday night. I'm pretty fucking happy because the Patriots are 10-2. And Shador Sanders won his first game and got a touchdown. Congratulations, Steve. Maybe they could turn that young man around and he can become a good quarterback. I mean, that's all I could say about that. Because I did watch the highlights of that game. It was pretty good. And, dude, we got Turkey Day coming up. See, this is the difference between me and Frank. Turkey Day's coming up. I'm worried about, I got my turkey. I got all the trimmings to go with it. What I'm worried about is simply just getting it all together with the family and having a great Thanksgiving Day. I think what Frank is worried about is he's on hold departure. He's worried about maybe getting picked up by immigration. Yes, happy Thanksgiving. Oh, man. And he's worried about all that. While us, regular people, what are we worried about? We're worried about Thanksgiving, making sure our families get to the dinner table on time, enjoying the day, watching some football, you know, enjoying time talking with your family. It's a sad thing. I mean, he has no family. He's chased away. He forsaken his brother. His brother died alone. He don't talk to his sister. I mean, he's alienated his daughter. I mean, the guy is the original Scrooge. He could play Scrooge in the famous movie, The Christmas Carol, okay? Because these are the things Scrooge did. All right, guys. So I want to thank you all for coming in tonight. Chubba Wubba, Paisan, which is AKA Keep Your Enemies Closer, Steve 25901, Mike Luna, the Raven was here tonight. Hell on Earth was here tonight. Holy shit. Hell on Earth. That's a hell of a name, man. Oh, man. A horse called Stanky was here tonight. Go-Go Bobo's sister. Yes, all you guys, Don C. Hey, so many of you, man. I appreciate you coming in, and I want to thank you. And if I don't do another simulcast before Turkey Day, I want to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving, and God bless your family and friends, and be safe. This is Popeye One. I'm out of here.